Hi guys, welcome back to Wonderland Asylum. Doing something a little bit different today. Some of you have seen my previous videos regarding the Chrysler PT Cruiser I used to have and the reveal for this one. Just a couple of little bits and bobs on it. So what we're doing today is I'm going to be fitting a custom air intake to the car, and I'm going to take you along because it's a largely universal process. The first thing I'm going to do is start it up so you can hear how the engine sounds stock. Right, so, yep, I'm low on fuel and my boot's open. I am aware of both these things. So, looking under the dash, under the bonnet, that's your engine, the stock air intake. Yeah, not the best. You can see the airbox there, it's all scorched, it's all marked, it doesn't fit properly, and obviously now I'm going to be taking all that out and replacing it with this basically, and this air filter. Looks a lot better, sounds a lot better, hope it's worth the effort, but I'll let you hear the sound. It's a nice sounding engine, you can hear the turbocharger, but you know, just not quite loud enough for me. I'm a fairly loud individual, so as I say, I'm going to take you along. It might be a long video, I don't know how long this is going to take. I've already kind of started a couple of bits and pieces. The other thing I'm going to be fitting is this. Somebody gave me a, basically it goes inside your air hose and supposedly it generates more airflow. More airflow is apparently good. So the first thing we're going to be doing is taking the existing stuff out. So again, we'll go around the front. I'll see if I can find somewhere to put you. I did have a tripod, but a certain 2-year-old broke it. So I'm going to have to sit you in the engine bay, where hopefully you'll still be able to see. Hello. Right, so the first thing we're doing is removing the hose, putting it further up so we can get into stock harness. It's two 10mm bolts that hold on the mass airflow sensor to the airbox. Give me 2 minutes. And just the way it's all put together makes it a bit fiddly to get in at the bolts. But if you take these off, and this here I'll show you as well. You need to unplug the mass airflow sensor, which is this thing. It's one of these ridiculous red tabs, I absolutely hate them. So you need to take that off as well to get in at it. Now I'll do it with 2 hands because it's a pain doing it with one. And I'll just plop you back down here. So you're getting a lovely view of this filthy engine. I don't know who designed these red tabs that you need to pull out. They're seemingly quite common on American vehicles, but there we go. That's the mass airflow sensor unplugged, and it gives me easier access to the bolt around the back. So I can undo that. I was going to say it may be easier to remove the mass airflow sensor from the hose and then take the whole assembly out and just take the mass airflow sensor out and plug it back in, but it's a little bit more time than I wanted to spend, but it looks like I may need to do that anyway, but we shall see. Give me 2 minutes. Right, so you get the wire out of the way, wiggle these screws off, Now I know a lot of people don't like messing about with the kind of stock setup and everything like that. I had a custom air filter, didn't it? The full chrome piping and everything like that on my last one, and I loved the noise it made. It made it sound far more fun and more appealing. Certainly, I don't think it really affects the drivability all that much, to be honest with you, but it's about being happy in your own car. And I don't like the way the stock setup sounds. I think it's a bit quiet for a 2.2 litre diesel engine. I should have mentioned that before. Although this is a Chrysler, the engine that's in it, diesel engine anyway, comes out of a Mercedes. It's the Mercedes engine. I think they used it in the Sprinter vans and in the C-Class. So yeah, it's a bit more reliable than the petrol derivatives, which are Chrysler's own engines. Not that I've anything against, obviously, Chrysler, but aye, from what I'm led to believe, their engines ain't the most reliable. So that gets that hose, and let's move it out of the way. So the next thing, if I pick you up again, is removing the stock airbox. Sorry about my shoddy camera work, but you can see the airbox there. All you do is pull, and it's hooked in there where the cold air comes in. So pull it out, it's just held in by a couple of grommets. There's no screws or anything holding the air intake in these things. So you just wiggle it out, making sure you don't break the wires or anything as you're taking it out past them. It's a pity I can't move the hose further out of the way. But 2 seconds. Try to see what it's hanging up on. I don't want to have to unhook the mass airflow sensor. I'm gonna take the mass airflow sensor off because it seems to be hanging me up a little bit. Again, it's just another 10mm Jubilee clip that holds the mass airflow sensor on. So, or you can use a flathead screwdriver, whatever's your poison. But I'm not talking nonsense. It's not a 10mm in the slightest. Rubber out there. Take the rubber seal off the front of the bonnet, that'll help you wiggle it out. There we go, and out it comes. And now what you do with this is throw it away because it's junk. Now, in all seriousness, when I take stock parts out like that, like the airbox and everything, I tend to keep them, much to my other half's disgust, that I go to all this effort to remove bits and pieces and then end up keeping them anyway. But as you can see, there's the mount for your airbox, and there's now the big gap we're left with. So as I say, the next thing is, you can see I've already fitted a bracket there round behind the jump start terminal for the battery. That bracket's bolted on there, and that will allow me to fit a Jubilee clip round the air hose and clamp it on there. So that will basically that'll stop the air hose wobbling about once I put the custom filter on it. Again, I'm going to need to take the airflow meter off to put this inside the rubber hosing, which I completely forgot about. But give me 2 moments, we'll go around the back of the car again. Let's see, we've got all this stuff here. These are the hose clamps to hold your chrome piping and everything on. Custom filter. which is very nice. It's a very nice filter. And aye, more Jubilee clamps. I'm not sure how many of these I'll need. I've got 2 for there. That should be more than enough. If you just give me a minute, I'm going to get a slightly smaller socket to use on Jubilees. I think they may be an 8mm. Give me 2 seconds and I'll check for you. 2 seconds. No, not even close, buddy. Yep, 8mm. If anybody's ever going to be changing stuff with the Jubilee socket, don't use my mistake and tell everyone, oh, it's a 10mm. Nope, it's 8. It's an 8mm socket. So the next thing I'm going to do is, just say, here's my chrome piping, here's my air filter. I'm going to attach the air filter to the chrome pipe, if I can, he says, with great confidence. Again, as I say, loosen up the Jubilee clip. I had to kind of retrofit the pipe because it was a bit bigger than the chrome stuff wanted to allow me to have. So, come on, in we go. Thank you. Two seconds, guys, just trying to get as I say, I had to cut bits off the inside of the rubber on the air filter to get it to fit onto the chrome pipe, because the chrome pipe's slightly thicker than the inside of the air filter. I should have checked all this before I started. Typical. Don't have any of my sanding tools out with me, and because it's quite cold outside today, the rubber is being particularly inflexible and refusing to bend to let me put the pipe in. I can't push it too hard because the edges of the chrome aren't the softest. Come on, you piece of junk. Give me 2 seconds. The best laid plans, as they say. Come undone with the help of a pernickety filter. There we go. Okay, so say I'll need to loosen up the clamp a little bit because the rubber's now been extended to beyond its original capacity. And now it's just a case, say, tighten it up. So hold it on, I've got a little socket driver here. Say 8mm socket to tighten the clamp. There you go. Cone is on. did manage to pull the other side of the chrome the adapter plate off. 2 seconds.
Mommy shark do 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 do. Mommy shark do 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 do. Mommy shark do 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 do. Mommy shark.
Daddy shark do 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 do. Daddy shark do 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 do. Daddy shark do 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 do. Daddy shark.
Grandma shark do 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 do. Grandma shark do 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 do. Grandma shark do 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 do. Grandma shark.
Grandpa shark do 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 do. Grandpa shark do 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 do. Grandpa shark do 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 do. Grandpa shark. Let's go hunt do 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 do. Let's go hunt do 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 do. Let's go hunt do 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 do. Let's go hunt. Run away do 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 do. Run away do do.
Sorry guys, I'm away to get the Allen key because I'll need to loosen up this just a little in order to put the other bit of hose back on. There we go. Easy does it. Don't break anything else off. Just loosen it up a little bit more, and it slips on fairly easily. It's quite well designed, the wee universal thing. I mean, obviously it's not the most expensive in the world because I don't have the most money in the world, but it's not bad. It's quite well made, seems to fit reasonably well. So yeah, the way it works is it's little plastic rings that go around the hose. I think part of the problem I'm having is because it's cold outside, or reasonably cold, it's not as bad as it gets, and I realise that some of you guys are over in the States and you're getting snow already. You have my sympathies. I'm also reliably informed that over in the States you guys don't get the diesel versions of the cruisers, only the petrols, which, or if you get them, they're rare. I'm not sure which it is. But as I say, I'm reliably informed by guys I know over there who really want a diesel one and kind of get one. All I'll say about them is, yeah, I've had 2 diesels now. The first one was an absolute pile. This one ain't so bad. The first one hadn't been well looked after. It had been kind of just left, beat around. It wasn't an enthusiast who owned it. It was just somebody who needed a car, and that one happened to do. They didn't take care of Chrysler's particular proclivities. They didn't rust proof it particularly well, if at all. So poor thing was rusted to all hell, literally. Bodywork didn't look great. I did my best with it, obviously, but nah, the bodywork was completely shot. So I got the opportunity of another one, this one, and my mechanic said, well, I'll tell you what, I'll buy your original one off you and I'll try and fix it. This thing just doesn't happen today, is it? Again, because of the cold, it's not wanting to join the 2 halves together. I think I may actually have broken the clip. No, looks fine. I just don't think I had it on properly. Give me 2 seconds. Again, terribly sorry. This is less a tutorial and more me babbling nonsense. I may cut some of this out, make myself look slightly less stupid. A difficult task, I am aware. But yeah, so So that goes right there. As we say, I'm very rarely not working, so I have to do this on days as and when I can. I've been planning to do this for a long time and just for various reasons haven't been able to. So today I've got the opportunity. I thought, right, okay, I'll take you guys along. This is not going how I planned in the slightest. I planned this to be informative and interesting as opposed to an opportunity to laugh at the big stupid Scottish guy. And this is going to come straight back off again, and I'm going to lose my temper, which I suppose will be amusing in itself for you. Right. Okay. Right, that's it. This is all getting cut out anyway, so fuck it. Right, is it too late to just put the airbox back in? I think it is a little bit, yes. Right, so again, hose clamp goes on there to hold it onto the chrome bit. 10mm socket, 8mm socket goes on to tighten the rubber down. It's not so imperative on this part, as I say, the chrome bit will more or less hold on. It's the other side where it goes onto the mass airflow meter that you need the hose clamp primarily for. Let's give this one more try to see if I can get this bit on. Well, it's not like I can stop now, eh? I've already hooked my airbox out and catapulted it across the car park. So I need to get this running. This is now, since it was in, I think in America you call it the inspection, in Britain it's the MOT. This was MOT'd and serviced last week, so it is now my daily runner. Wish I'd thought of that before I started messing about with the airbox. But yeah, so I promised the little one that we'd go out for lunch. That promise is fast disappearing across the horizon if I can't get this airbox to go on, or this kit to go on. Right, there we go. Neighbour's dog. Lovely wee dog it is. Right. Gets on my other half's dog, which is quite rare. Normally everybody hates him, including me. Right. So another hose clamp, and I'll show you what that's for momentarily. Got my bit, got my bobs. Let's go. I haven't forgotten you. Right. So I'll put you back in the engine bay, where you can hopefully see at least a bit of what we're doing. I'm new to this. It's my first time trying to take you along doing something kind of as big as this. So say that's what I'm putting on. Lie down just now. And I really hope these hose clamps are up to holding it on. That one's not an 8mm. This one is, so I'll do it first. That one's got a Phillips head on it, so I can just use the Phillips head. 7mm as well. Right. So that's your mass airflow meter. And the reason I've got that off is so I can push this into the air hose. As I say, hopefully it'll fit. I mean, you take the rubber piping off it. Hopefully it will fit. And it does. Snug as a bug in a rug, as they say. And I just need to make sure the air filter, no, that won't go back on with that in there. Seconds. Go. It's just a case of push it into the rubber hose until you've got enough room to reattach the mass air sensor. If you can't fit that on, there we go, perfect. If you can't fit your air sensor, the car won't run, basically, is the bottom line. Which one of these was I using? Not that one. Well, it really makes a huge difference. Let me unscrew it all the way anyway to get the past that one. Back on. Right. And then what we're doing, you won't be able to see until I'm done, I don't think. I knew I'd have to perform some kind of adjustment on it, wasn't just sure how extreme the adjustment was going to be. There we go. 2 seconds. Twist that to face down slightly. There we go. It might be a bit too much. A little bit. So again. Fortunately, it's quite a flexible, malleable metal we've used to make this. Little bracket, probably because they knew idiots like me wouldn't have measured beforehand and would be messing it about with it while it was on the car. Right, there we go. Start that way, and perfection. She is on. Oops, that's not what I want to do. That's what I want to do. Yeah, so just continually keep guiding your hose clamp onto the bracket. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. Because that basically The only thing stopping your intake from doing a nosedive. Now put the airflow sensor back on and tighten it back down. With the right tool. Again, if you're doing this, don't forget to reconnect the mass airflow sensor, or as I say, your car just will refuse to run. Okay, 2 seconds. I've just found out something rather amusing. Mind how I was complaining about having to mess about with that thing that didn't want to stay on? Don't need it. Again, didn't measure correctly. Or, well, I didn't measure at all. Let's be blunt about it. Thought it would need the straight bit. Doesn't. Certainly will help with keep the weight down a little bit. 2 seconds. And that will slip over. I'll take the yellow band off the mass airflow sensor. That will fit over there. We can tighten it down. Maybe not. It's not tightened enough. That'll do it. Push that further in. Sorry guys, realise I've just put that right in your road. This one's a bit stretchier. 2 seconds, guys. So this one is a 7mm that's on this hose clamp, so, and it's needed just to kind of secure the rubber onto the cone for the air filter. Again, there we go. Perfection. Just wrap it round. Push it on. And get it to bite. And then continue just to tighten it all up till it's tight enough that you're confident it's not going to pop back off again. That obviously is your main concern. Change back to the 8 just to make sure I've got that one tight enough for me. Same with this one, just make sure the airflow meter's on. Seems fairly solid to me. So okay, so that appears to be us more or less done. I'm going to take all this stuff around the back, give me 2 seconds, and then we can start her up and see how she sounds if she's different. I'll take you with me so don't forget and leave you sitting in the boot. 2 minutes. And so again, all I'm doing now is putting my tools back, because there's nothing worse than going to get your tools and they're in a mess because you've not put them back properly last time. And then I'll go and see my very unhappy 2-year-old who's about to get taken out for her lunch. That'll be the car's test drive. It's taking the 2-year-old to lunch. I did promise her I would take her, so I'm not now going to welch out, just because I've been working on the car. Couldn't ask for a better 2-year-old, I really couldn't. She's amazing. I don't know if any of you saw the video I put out a little while ago. In fact, no, you wouldn't have, because it was just sent to friends. But I was getting the car ready for its MOT, so I had to take the lock and wheel nuts off. And when I did that, she wanted to help, so she must be the only 2-year-old, certainly in Scotland, that spent one of her days off hunkered down under her dad's, or well, not under her dad's car, but at her dad's car, putting taking locking wheel nuts off and putting standard ones on. She had a ball. 2 seconds. As folk always say, she's definitely yours. To which, yes, she is. Right, put all that stuff here. I'll show you the finished product before I do anything else. I'm going to take my toolkit out the car because it's annoying me sliding about in the back seat. I don't really need it in the car with me. Excuse my big red nose, I'm Scottish and it is cold. Sorry, we got cut off there. That's what it looks like now. And let's do our after. I'm not keen on touching stuff because my hands are absolutely filthy now, but let's have a look. Right, and here's where I'm thinking, did I put the mass airflow sensor back? Ooh. Right, 2 seconds. Ooh, lovely, love it, worth it. Thank you guys, and see you later.